shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here on this beautiful Monday morning. As we started off with BOOKMAP, 107,500 for BOOKMAP. Looks like we could liquidate all the way up. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Check 1 2 1 2. Shout out to everybody out there. You know, I see a lot of funny speculation in the chat. I read the chat at the beginning of the stream. A lot of people saying this and that. It's interesting. If you had listened to the morning update this morning, been in the trading group, a lot of those questions would have been answered already. I see people that are in the group. Hey, jump on it today and you won't feel that lost sense like you're not sure what's going on, you're not sure where we're going, or you can't really get a sense of where the market is. If you just join that trading group, get that clarity, we're going to give it to you every single day. So I'm going to give you some key things that the lifers knew already that you may not have known if you're just jumping on in. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. I appreciate each and every one of you for sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Let's get that water going. Blessings on blessings it is to be alive. Thank you, each and every one of you, for sharing your time. Let's break down Bitcoin. Let's see what's happening. And let's talk about what I went over this morning. I said, you know, if we can't get back above the 5-minute 200 moving average, expect more downside. Last night we looked at a flag here, touching the 21 above the 200. We should be getting the measured move, which is the length of the pole there. We got the exact measured move and we were out. Beautiful scalp last night for gains. This morning, put out a scalp on the 1-minute time frame. It had a nice little pump. Nothing to write home about right here. Nice little pump. Or was it actually this? Was that the, hold on, right here? No, that's 5 last night. Yeah, right here. Nice little pump to the upside. Nothing to write home about, though. Was it too crazy? Looks better on weeks here. Yeah, here we go. It just looks more appropriate on the weeks chart here. So on weeks, if you can see, we had this flag. I said this morning, we're going to watch this flag, see if this flag can break out. I said, that's the only thing I see. It is false move Monday. Be very careful. I said, then we got above the 200 moving average. I opened up a trade. We got a pump, made $100. It started to come down. Stop loss to break even. Then here you go, right? And then things started to break further to the downside. But a pump back up is coming. Bitcoin at 107,354. Bookmap suggesting that we do go higher. Someone said, is that the market maker spoofing? You know what, it could be, but at the same time, if you use Bookmap for the last 5 years, you would see that it's been extremely accurate. So whether they're spoofing or not, maybe they are 1 out of 10 times, but right, you know, Bookmap usually goes to the red. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm just showing you what I show you every day. If you watch this stream if you're just beginning and you watch this stream for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, your life will change. You'll never be the same. I want to bring people into consistency. Are you ready to be consistent for 5 years straight? That will change your life. Everyone wants success. Success is not an overnight thing. It's not like you snap your fingers and you're successful. Success is the daily chore of doing the same thing over and over again, and eventually, slowly, things start to crack. Compounding nature. Eventually, every single day you work compounds into more days. I also talked about how today looked bearish to me if we couldn't get back above the 5-minute 200 MA. I said, I'm a bear today. I said, bulls will have to show us something. If you listen to my update this morning, who here listened to the update and you're kind of sitting pretty with what's happening right now? You're not confused. You understand what's happening, where we're going, and why this is pulling back, right? You can see it. And I talked about it. Okay? We went over it many, many times. All right? So let's break it down like we do every single day and show you. So here on weeks, look, you can see that we had this nice little pump, right, to the upside on that 5-minute time frame, but we couldn't get back above the 200 moving average. The 1 minute got above the 200, which was the key, and we got the pump, but we did not stay above it. You see? And that is it right here. Now we're kind of further to the downside here for Bitcoin. Nice spike back up out of nowhere, which is crazy, right? Volatility on this Monday morning. And there's some cool information coming our way as well, which I want to bring to your attention. So today's a big day. There's a lot of information coming our way, and there's a lot of stuff that we want to look at, all right? First thing I do want to look is that CME watch tool. All right, in about 30 days, we're going to have another rate meeting, right? A hike or whatever, a rate non-hike probably, right? Unlikely, right? 80% chance that we stay flat at the next meeting in July. Then we skip 2 months and we go to September, but September has floated up to 76.8% chance that we do get a rate cut. Looks like we're definitely going to get a rate cut in September. If not, maybe a little earlier. A little earlier would justify a huge pump, but this is good enough. And September and October, they always pump. It's almost like you have to pump September, October. This would create the catalyst for that pump to the upside. Bitcoin, 107,563. 107.5 is going to be that key area. It's going to be hanging around today. See if it can kind of hold above those zones or not. So let's break it down. Let's take a look at our weekly. And tonight is our monthly candle close. We'll be going live for about a half an hour, very shortly, very quick, just to go over the monthly candle, talk about a few things. You never know. Sometimes we've live traded the monthly candle, and amazing things have happened. So anything is possible. You know, I'm open-minded, but for the most part, I don't put a lot of weight on the monthly. We don't go live for hours, and usually I just want to kind of add another stream to your week and show you what's happening. That's going to create an insane amount of streams, 10 streams a week coming at you here on this channel, 10 live streams a week, insanity. So 104,468 for Bitcoin. That's going to be the key level, 104,005 if you want to stay. As long as we stay above that, I stay bullish. In my humble opinion, Bitcoin broke out a bit, what looks to me like a bit of a flag here. And, it could toy around. It could come back down. It has some support right there, too. You can see where candles have closed. So there's some weekly support at 106.5, 104.5. If we lose that, it's 102.5 and 98,500. I'm open-minded that anything is possible. Could this be considered somewhat of a double top? You never know. Anything is possible for Bitcoin. You never know. Blessings on everybody out here. Thank you for being here. Hope you're making, a lot of use of your time by being full of gratitude and love and light and happiness. Gratitude is the way, is the key, is the answer to abundance. No matter what happens in my life, I'm going to pray and thank God for every single thing that's been given to me. The ups, the downs, even the downs I'm going to pray for, because, if you're not here on this earth, you can't even get it down. You can't stub your toe if you're not even alive, right? So God bless everybody here, all the ups and downs, man. The other day, I bashed my toe against the hard concrete curb. It hurt bad. I thought I broke my toes, man. They hurt both. Like, my whole left foot was just, man, the nerves in the toes, And I said, dear Lord, thank you for being alive. Some people are dead and they can't even stub their toe, And I said I had gratitude for stubbing my toe. You attempt to find gratitude in every single facet of life. Amen. So the weekly bullish engulfing candle, you can put that candle inside of that candle. All right. That's a good strong move, but can we get the continuation? 107.6 right now for Bitcoin, bouncing back after a bit of an obliteration there. The 5-day chart, as we showed you, is at the top of the range, but it's in an uptrending flag and starting to look pretty nice to me. Right. And nothing too bad about this. Looks like it's kind of getting tight, and the 5-day could break out anytime soon. The 3-day chart, as I suggested, is my favorite chart right now. It has the most, the most bullish pattern, number one. It looks the cleanest. It has the most, understandable pattern that's simple and easy to follow, right? It makes sense. It's got low stochastics. RSI looks good. The MACD wants to turn and rip to the upside. The moving averages are close enough for another big move to the upside, and we're touching the 21-day moving average not too far away on the 3-day chart. One thing does suggest that we may just come back down here for a couple days, maybe 3 to 6 days of a pullback, bounce off 106,000, maybe 105. Doesn't look like we could go much lower than 106,000. If I bring this down, you can see beautiful resistance, which is support now at 106,000, 105,950 on that 3-day chart. So yeah, if we came back down, even on a wick or even, just for the next few days, it would make sense here. This would also help altcoins consolidate. Solana would pump. SEI could pump. If Bitcoin went sideways for 6 days now, but sideways in a bullish manner, suggesting there's more pump coming for Bitcoin, be a very, very bullish sign. And I get two scenarios here. The first scenario is just this flag here. Length of this pole takes you to 127,000, but you can really extend that pole because that's really the measured move there. That's the leg. And that tells you 145,000 somewhere by the end of August. So we could continue to pump here. Things aren't all bearish. There's a lot of bears out here with the bearish div, and they're talking about it's rolling over. And I don't even really know because I don't listen to much. I don't watch a lot of stuff. I scan crypto Twitter for good information, but I don't read a lot of nonsense on there, And moment of silence for the firefighters that were being shot at. Hold on, let's hold, I want to make sure I dedicate a portion of my stream to that. That's insanity. You run to go help save someone's life, and someone's going to actually shoot at you. Moment of silence. May we pray for all of those people that are affected by what happened there. Unbelievable. So sad. So sad. I'm going to reach out to a family if I can, or someone in there, see if we can, do that. That just really hit me. Anyway, sorry, but that's not right. Moving forward, blessings on everybody out here. 107,260 Bitcoin getting a quick dump to the downside. So I see a pullback for Bitcoin. I see a move on the bigger time frames down. The daily, a tweezer top. All right, that's just not a good sign. The weekly, a tweezer top. All right, we talked about this morning. I said I'm overall bearish. I said the bigger time frames are showing you that there's a pullback coming, whether you want to believe it or not. 8-hour, 4-hour tweezer top right there last night, and that was the end of that 5-minute pump, right? And that was kind of the end. We had a beautiful flag. I stuck to my guns on this flag. If anyone watched me here, and it took time. That pump was all I needed for massive gains, because I make some pretty big 100K, $250,000 trades. That was a massive gain for me. Ended up pulling out, some nice gains yesterday on a Sunday. And, now there's really no reason to give those gains back. Like today is just kind of like, wow, we made massive gains on Sunday. Why force trades on a Monday? And that's been happening to us recently. We've been making good gains on the weekend. It helps you from being crazy on Monday. Like just chill out. Don't go crazy. People that force trades are the people that end up losing it all. You know what I mean? Forcing trades is not the key. It's getting an education and waiting for the trades to come to your setup. So, that's a bit of an M pattern. Bearish divergence. It's like a double top collapse there, trying to make it back out. And so, yeah, it would make sense that we could get a bit of a pullback here, back to the bottom of the trend line, back to the 200 MA. It's not the worst thing in the world. So a little pullback for Bitcoin. Looks like it could be on the radar. 2-hour time frame says no. 1-hour time frame looks to roll over. We talked about this being a head and shoulder pattern this morning. Let's break it down and show you what I'm seeing here. So you kind of have this little shoulder, this bigger head, and this right shoulder. We draw the line and we have a nice head and shoulder pattern here that could break further to the downside. And I see this thing moving further down, somewhere down to $106,000 Bitcoin. So right off the bat, I'm seeing bearishness. Now, again, maybe I'm wrong and they rip it out of nowhere to the upside. Anything is possible. But I just play what the charts tell me, and the charts are telling me a pullback is coming here for Bitcoin. People come here because they get the sauce accurately. I don't tell you how I want it to be or how I would like it to be. I tell you how it is. And, we're bearish when we need to be. We're bullish when we need to be. We nailed that. I was bullish for the last 3 days. Remember, I was just like, I'm adamant. Now you can clearly see this bearish div. We got the pump. Everything went our way. We sold the top yesterday, sold the local top too. We never really got higher. Last night, a little bit of a pump there, but that was about it, trying to draw it in those late longs. So I see a head and shoulder pattern here. And to me, that's a 68% chance of a break to the downside. Funny, I saw someone saying trend lines don't work and they were drawing the trend lines. They were drawing them all wrong. And they weren't using support and resistance or moving averages. You can't just use trend lines to trade and think it's going to be the best. You got to be able to use more than that, in my humble opinion. Trend lines are cool. They show you parameters and respect key areas, but that's, there's more to trading than a trend line. You can't blindly trade it. For me personally, they're significant when you break above one. I love the key areas that if you break above a key, diagonal trend line, that's awesome. Wow. Okay. Blessings on everybody out here. So yeah, I see a head and shoulder pattern willing to dump. Am I going to trade it? I usually don't trade Monday after I've made gains on a Sunday. Just not my thing. I'm sorry. I wish I could live trade in front of you every day just for entertainment purposes only. And I guess I could force it just to make it happen, like I could be a circus act. But I try to be a real dude and not a circus act. You know what I mean? Even though I do love entertainment, don't get me wrong. And sometimes some trades are fun. We'll see what happens. But this looks bearish to me. Like we're going to get a drop to the downside here for Bitcoin. Suggests that it does say that the probability is short. A stop loss here would take you further down, somewhere down to about $105,900 Bitcoin. That's a head and shoulder pattern. That's what I see happening. And remember, the 3-day chart. So it all comes into play with me. I see the bigger time frames pulling back. I see the bigger time frame flag. I want to see the flag come back to the bottom of the channel. 3-day chart. It's all here. It's all logged in the brain, right? And then we see that we're in the small time frames. Break it down. We couldn't get back above the 5-minute 200 MA, which I said this morning was the key for the bulls to remain bullish. If we could get back above that yellow line, but we did not. We got rejected by it. 1 minute started the sauce, but lost to 200 as well. So it's all there for you. A low volume week as well as you're getting into a holiday week. A lot of people are getting ready. This week they're packing up. They're going to go meet grandma and grandpa in Kennebunkport, Maine, right? They're going to go all the way, down to their house, to their friend's house. Everyone's coming to the East Coast, the Northeast specifically too, to the cooler weather. People are leaving Florida to go visit their mom and dad up in Cape Cod. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be, so less people are going to be in the market. Rich people are going to go on trips with their kids, right? So, it's going to be a slow bleed week, probably with low volume, most likely. But there could be some volatility tomorrow with Jerome Powell. But so far, so good. Look, we read the market right today. I could clearly see, because we couldn't get above the 5-minute 200, that we were going to get rejected. And then I saw that the bigger time frame said that we were going to the downside. Now we see a head and shoulder pattern that's likely going to bring us down to 105.884. And there you go. And that's your update for Bitcoin. We just took you from the weekly all the way down to the 15-minute, and we even flashed you on the 1 minute and the 5. So thorough analysis, kind of breaking it down. And we have a live trade here for, we have a trade here that I'm looking at that the technical analysis says is the most probable trade of the day. This says this is what's most likely going to happen. All right. Based off my years of doing this, I totally agree. So 20 years of data has agreed that this is more than likely. Again, I'm not trying to be pompous. I'm just trying to give you the data. I'm just the one that's collected it. Don't shoot the messenger away. So I like what I'm seeing for the technical analysis. It's playing out. It's fitting. I don't love the dump, but it's fitting into the pocket in which it shall. So all is well. Let me jump on into the chat and see how you beautiful people are doing today. May God bless you all. Awesome, awesome people. Really, the nicest people in the game are here right now. They are. It's you. You're awesome. 105 feels like we've been at those prices forever. If you're not spending the fourth to the south, you're missing out. I love it. Life is taught to discipline. Being patient is key. Now, people are going all around. I shouldn't say people are going just but the Northeast, but people are going all around the country. I agree. People are going down to Texas to meet their mom and dad. People are going out to California. Just everyone's going out to see their peoples, man. Hyperliquid prediction. You rock, lifer. Shout out to Jimmy Villain. 4891, you rock. And shout out to all my lifers that support me. All the people that I meet around the country that say, hey, lifer, I'm with it, man. I love the energy. I love the vibes. I'm with you, lifer. Some of the strongest, most coolest people in the game come up to me with the respect, with the love, with the hugs, with the handshakes. They look me deep in the eye, say, lifer, I'm with it. God bless all my lifers. Thank you, every single buddy that helps this movement continue to grow no matter what. We fight every single day on our way to 100,000 subscribers. Can we get into the $100,000 club? 100,000 subscriber club. It looks like it's, oh yeah, we already hit the $100,000 club, but the 100,000 subscriber club, can we get there? Pushing every single day to make it happen. Nobody gives you a handout. Nobody gives you nothing. You could have 98,000 subscribers like me and work every single day just for that next subscriber. Nothing is guaranteed in life. You got to push for every single thing you get. You got to push every single time. Nope, nothing is guaranteed. Once everything's been taken away, you know you must work for everything. No handouts here. No days off. We grind every single day. SEI in a very tight channel, but if Bitcoin dumps, I expect this would come and stop hunt a bunch of people here like so. Then maybe pump again later, but go after this liquidity. So just be careful if you're sitting pretty like a duck down there. Sitting like a duck, you might just get taken, right? Yeah, shout out to my man Face. He hurt his teeth, I read, over his dog. Hey, it happens, man. There's ups and downs in life. No, it's good, man. Don't worry. He's had an amazing time. He's a good dude. He's a blessed man. I'm going to actually hit him up, say how hope his teeth. When I read that last night, I was like, man, that's not cool. Your teeth, man, hurt, dude. Breaking your teeth or something, that's not fun. God bless my people. God bless everybody that helps cryptocurrency. Face, Crown, everyone out there. Eric Crown, Tom Crown, all the crowns. Blessings on everybody out here. Funny, Quantum R Ledger. Looks like it's got, doesn't have a lot of volume, but it's in an ascending triangle for whatever reason. Quantum, right? I wouldn't touch it. It's a little low volume for me, but just, hey, look how the TA looks like it wants to rip to the upside here. Touching the 21-day moving average, got legs in the stochastic. This thing could move to 95 cents. QRL, Quantum R Ledger, Quantum Resistant Ledger, right? Sammy, I want to learn how to trade traditional stock market options, etc. Does your 99 teach as well, or do you just focus on crypto? What I teach you is you could trade anything in the world. I do NASDAQ all day long. I do not trade options. I've never have. I don't know exactly what an option is. I don't, people tell me you make it, you write it, you put a put, you put all this. However, the technical analysis would teach you basically how to, basically would be spot on. Like you need good TA to trade an option properly. So I'm sure I'd be nailing options amazingly well if I just knew how to do it. You see what I'm saying? Options just a new way to it's just another way to make a trade based on the same information. Yeah, I go over the NASDAQ all the time. I put out NASDAQ trades. We talk about it here too, the S&P futures, the NASDAQ. We show you how to, everything I teach you, you can trade any market in the world from Forex to NASDAQ to gold to silver. All the stuff that I'm teaching you plays out over time. Yeah, it's all the same stuff. 21, 200 moving average, all that stuff comes into play over and over again. Wow, they're giving you good prices here today, everybody, for everything. It's these altcoins that are lingering. They're just like, before they never gave you a good price. You had to buy them at the dip. After the dip was over, that was it. This has been the most forgiving altcoin season I've ever, they're giving people just so much time. What it makes me think is our big business getting in, and they need a lot of time because they get big money. And if they're going to pump this market where they're going to go, it's going to take them a lot longer to accumulate. So it might just be one of these long-term accumulations for a bigger move to the upside over time, Options, best bang for your buck, somebody says. You can also lose a lot of money with options, though, right? Lifer, what's going on with ZBCN? I don't know. It's not my favorite coin. Sebekin. I mean, it actually is. It's perfect, though. There's nothing going on with it. It's perfect. It pumped beautifully, and it retraced back down to the 618 golden pocket. Nothing's wrong with it. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Went on a major tear, and everything pumps like that. It'll get away from its 3-day moving average, the 221. So you'll watch a pump on any coin, any market in the world. It'll pump. It'll get away from the 21-day moving average. It'll have to come back to the 21 on the bigger time frames. You'll see that you're overbought on the RSI, the MACD, the stochastics, and you'll be away from the 21. This will tell you that it's time to take some profits. So look, it'll look just like this. So the next time you're in a trade and you're very far from the white line on the 3-day chart and you're not taking profits, you're probably, you're deciding to hold premium, which is the greatest time to sell based off probability. So you're going to be looking for price to come back down to the 618 golden pocket, maybe even a wick to the 786. These are going to be the key areas for the bounce back to the upside 90% of the time. Now, that doesn't mean we get here, we can't just continue lower. Could be a black swan, could turn to zero. Yes, anything could happen. But what I tell you is 90% of the time, if I'm buying an asset, I buy in the 618, 786 area, and 90% of the time, I'm buying the discount, right? So you do what makes you happy over time. This stuff makes sense. If you give this 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, see, everyone wants to give this 2 years, then they want a data set. They want to say, how about the 618 for 2 years, and I want to know exactly how it works out now. It's not going to be like that. You're going to have to give these indicators in this time, 5 years of your life, 6 years of your life. If you want to be a master, if you want to be the best, who's the best at anything that hasn't given them 5 to 10 years in it? Look, and I always go back to sports, but like the best quarterbacks, 10 years. The best, point guards, 10 years, 6 years, 8 years at least. Come on now. You're not going to get amazing at anything after just 3, 4 years. Even 5 years is like, I've been doing this since I was 22 years old, buying and selling stocks, getting in to, then I started technical analysis hardcore in my late 20s, Now I'm 42 years old. It's been 12 years of TA, 20 years of constant battling these markets, believing I could do something with my money, playing with the money. Playing with my money for 20 years now. I've been playing with my money for 20 years, putting it in the market, taking it out. Swing trade, day trade, long trade, you name it. I've been playing with my money for 20 years. All right? This didn't happen overnight. I didn't become Sammy Pocket Square in a day, man. I didn't own, and I'm still trucking, and I still got to work hard every single day or it all disappears. It turns into nothing. You got to keep yourself healthy. You got to eat right. You got to work out. These are all the facets of, if I don't eat right and take care of myself, I'll get sick. I won't be able to show up to the stream. I've never taken a sick day. I've streamed sick. You guys seen me sick maybe 4 or 5 times in the last, I've been extremely sick maybe twice, and I've been a little bit of sick like 3 or 4 times in the last 5 years. But we've made it through no matter what. We stay positive, we keep pushing, and we stay, also stay in good weather, stay around the sun, stay around positive people, and life happens to just stay positive. Whoa, who'd have thought? I got a positive life. I meditate on positive energy all the time. They go hand in hand. What you think about is what you create your life. So think about the beautiful things. Think about gratitude. Think about love. Think about happiness. Remember the good times. Focus on the beauty, and your life will be full of beauty. Focus on the love. Your life will be full of love. Focus on the light, and your life will be full of light. Focus on the negative. You'll be full of negativity. Focus on the shameful. Focus on the bad things. Focus on all the things you didn't do in your life. Beat yourself up constantly and see where you're going to get. You're not going to get too far. All right? So there's your 618 Fibonacci. Can you bounce back to that 7862? Would be great. But that's, to me, that's a good price. That's probably one of your greatest retracements I've ever seen. Just perfect. So someone said, what's up with ZBCN? Everything. It's looking pretty interesting. Yeah. He said, almost 30 years at hardwood flooring, and I'm still learning. It's never over, right? There's still something that you can do. And they change, right? There's engineered hardwood now. As technology changes, there's new ways to do things. So your craft has evolved over time. You can't stay stagnant and start using the same materials over time when materials switch and shift. You got to be able to be moving with the times, right? You got to be volatile. You got to have the volatility. You got to move with that. You got to be versatile in the volatility. So while the head and shoulders really did nothing, 15-minute came back and we got basically nothing of a move, a nothing burger here. And again, I did not open up a short. I want to make that clear. I'm not trading Monday, false move Monday here. We're just kind of sitting. Right, I'm the best Final Fantasy 7 player, 20 years dedicated. Amen. Keep drinking that lemon water and walking, baby. Forgive yourself always, but learn from your mistakes and your issues. Oh, yeah, for sure. Being grateful to God for waking up each day has made my life so much better. 100%, Honda man. Sol is going up while Bitcoin is going down. Can we please take a look at Sol chart? We will. Let's take a look at SOLBTC in that effect and see if there's some love here in these altcoins. We're also going to take a look at ETH BTC. And if there's alt season, we are going to find it. So SOLBTC showing signs of a bit of a bullish divergence here on the bigger time frames, curving up in the stochastics. 3-day bullish div on SOLBTC. What does that tell you? So let's clean this up. Let me show you exactly what I'm saying. We got this beautiful swing down on price, but a sharp swing up on the RSI. That's bullish divergence if I ever seen it. If in my life I ever seen that bullish div. And there it is. So can we get this move out the falling wedge to the upside here for Bitcoin? Only a matter of time. It looks like we may. I love bullish divvy on a big time frame on the 3-day chart too as well. My goodness. My goshness. My great balls of fire. So, wow. And, you know, we've got this kind of shoulder head. Can we get the right shoulder break out of here to the upside? I would watch SOLBTC right now. Looks like Sol may start getting a move. If Bitcoin pumps, Sol will pump. So if Bitcoin can get the little bit of a pullback and money can flow into these altcoins, let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. And we're going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance like we did on Friday. We're also going to take a look at Tether dominance. And we're going to see what's in store here for the week ahead. So, wow, that's pretty cool. We got a bearish engulfing candle somewhat on the 3-day. Looks like it's curving down. If we fall out of this rising wedge to the downside, altcoins could get a bit of a soar if and only if Tether dominance is also going to collapse. We don't want them to collapse together. Could be a pullback. Right now, we also have a green candle, though, with the bounce. The daily said it's overbought. So, I don't know. I'd be, you know, shoulder, head. Looks like we may put in a right shoulder. Then we could get some alt season action. But it does say for the next few days, it could be just Bitcoin's move here. So, July is a low energy month. Yeah. And you got to love it too. And I love the AI is amazing. You know, you can ask it anything you want. It'll tell you what you need to know, right? Like you're smarter than the entire civilization of the world right now. You're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're a therapist, physicist. You know what I'm saying? Wow, we got it all. So we have every single July ever. So in 2013, it started at 90, it ended at 100. All right. In 2014, it started at 640, ended at 580. It was down. In 2015, started at 260, ended at 280, nothing, right? 2016, really nothing. 2017, absolutely nothing. About a $120 move, lost 5%. 2018, went from 65 to 77, a little bit of a move there. 18% gain. 2019, 11.9 to 11, a loss of 16. All right. A gain of 21% in 2020, a gain of 8% in 2021, a gain of 20% in 2022. So 3 Julys in a row, it popped off pretty nicely. Not too bad, right? And then here we go with 2023, lost. 2024, it gained. So, it's sideways most of the time. Win versus losses. 7 of the 12 Julys were positive. 4 were negative. The best July was 2020 of 21%. The worst was July of 2016. Right? Volatility. July often sees consolidation or recovery after June's movements. Negative Junes historically lead to strong July rebounds. We had a very positive June, though. So, historical context, July is typically a strong month in Q3, outperforming August and September, which often sees losses. August average return in pre-halving years is 21% loss. August is a tough month for Bitcoin. And September can be too, as you kind of, late September tends to bring it back to the upside. What's your thoughts on JYAI on Ethereum? I don't know anything about it. I have to do my research before I show it to everybody out here. Yeah. So prices are drawn from web. Yeah, so that's pretty cool, right? The outlook, July 25 follows the April 24 halving. Historically a bullish period. Bitcoin's current price, 106,689 as of June 230, and recent ETF inflows, 16.9 billion in 2025, suggest potential for gains. But resistance at 108.1 and 110.4 could cap the upside. Hey, you heard it here on the channel. Spank those likes, somebody says. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. What's your thoughts on JYAI on Ethereum? I'll take a look at it. I have no idea what it is. Let me see if it even comes up here on CoinMarketCap. JYAI here. Jerry the Bull by Matt Fury. Tiny market cap. They even have it on MEXC. It's crazy. MEXC gets everything. The second it exists, MEXC's on it. Let's take a look at Tether dominance for a split second here. Tether dominance still, to me, making a bit of a right shoulder. The daily, though, getting oversold, possibly could get a little bit of an exertion up. But nothing amazing here. Kind of rolling over on the 4-hour head and shoulder pattern, too. I don't see anything crazy happening for Tether dominance. Does look like we're in control here for more upside for Bitcoin and the altcoins. Jerry the Turtle. All right. And he's got the word AI in there for whatever reason. Might get people thinking it's AI when it's not, right? So Jerry the Turtle comes out April 28th, has a huge pump, comes back down for a retracement. I don't know. I'm all set, really. I don't think I'm going to be trading this thing. I'm not on speculative high-risk assets recently. Like, I need the market to get a little frothy to do that. Now, I will get in earlier than most. I'm not going to wait for the best opportunities to be disappearing. But I'm not going to be the first to dip my toes into the risk asset world, right? I used to do that a lot more than I needed to. Now I realize I was being overly risky. And now I just I take it one step at a time, add to my BTC each week and do my thing, right? And again, buying Bitcoin and being greedy about Bitcoin every single time. Yeah, just joined. So sorry if this was discussed. Yeah, we did go over Solana. It did look bullish to us. Thank you for asking, though, and bringing it back up. Hey, more eyes on the market, the better. That's how the lifers do. I don't get every single update. A lot of times you guys send me stuff on the live stream. We have elite traders that are posting, and everybody kind of is a big family here together. I can't do it alone. 7 days a week, every single day. No way. Impossible. Remember, Bitcoin, I wouldn't touch a bullish move here until it gets back above the 200 moving average on the 5-minute time frame. Until then, I just think this is a bearish retest. Could be actually a perfect entry here. Bearishly retesting, ready for the dump again. Again, this suggests that we're going to dump to the downside. The technical analysis suggests, not me. All right. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ and the S&P futures. ES1 on the S&P S&P breaking out, as we discussed, but kind of slumping here too. As you can see, away from the 21. Look for it to possibly flag out here on the 4-hour time frame. So what we're looking for closely is for us to stay above this 21 or interact with it and continue further to the upside. I'm looking for this to break out and continue further up. The measured move takes me to $6,447. And if you took the trade when I went over the big idea that the daily was going to break out, I mean, we've had a massive rippage. The NQ, the E-mini futures, same story, morning glory here, getting a pump on that daily, headed into overbought. A little bit of bearish div though. We're going to have to either get a blow off top or some type of cool off. We'll figure that out by watching the smaller time frames. Again, I'd check that 4-hour, and just like I showed the S&P, I'd be looking for the 4-hour to make some type of consolidated flag. If it goes more sideways, we're more likely to pump. If it starts to dump, then we have to see, is it going to breach this trend line? If it breaches that, it's going to drop back down to the bottom of the trend line. So you have two scenarios here. Mine is I only long, a big long, if it plays out the way it's supposed to. But shout out to anyone that traded the NASDAQ with me. I did 100% on the portfolio. 10 out of, we won, I think we won 11 out of 13 trades. Only lost 2 trades on the NASDAQ. I mean, in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or something like that. I put on basically a clinic on the NASDAQ, doubled my portfolio that I had in there. So, exciting times to be alive. Sammy, ask if Pacific 10-second remainder, taking consideration all indicators to include Fibonacci, Elliott Wave, or sorry, consolidated brain, what was that on X? Now I'm all set. Thank you though. Yeah, I can do that on my own, in my own mind. Yeah. What about Hyperliquid? I think you forgot my first super chat, my friend. Here is another one. No, I didn't forget it. I just don't do it exactly when you tell me to. I don't dance. All right. I got a whole show planned, and I have to do the S&P and the NASDAQ, and I got other things planned instead of super chats. Super chats come hard at about 11 to 11:15. All right. So they get stacked, and we go over them. If you think I forgot a super chat, you're obviously new to the channel, but that's okay. You'll understand. And I don't mean to be rude. I'm just kind of telling you how it is here. You're new here, I guess, right? So thank you. Also, you asked for a prediction. That's going to take some time. All right. Sam, I want to learn how to trade. Yeah, we'll just come here every day and you'll learn how to trade. All right. Anything in the world. Yeah. Any market in the world falls the 21 and the 200. Amen. Let's look at that 15-minute time frame too. And if the 15-minute were to lose the 200 moving average, you would have to start thinking we were going lower. We're going to have to watch this closely. This consolidation is not guaranteed, but if we watch it closely, we may be able to catch it. So there you have it. Boy, I remember UBXS, so many of these coins from back in the day, man. That coin actually never did a dang thing. Unless you were like on the inside. Sad to see even karate just not really, was such a big platform and a lot of people talking about it. Can't seem to get some good price action there. Karate combat there. The coin, Like if you look at that, just seems to get sold off every time. Like never even held the 618 retracement. See that? Just in a crazy downtrend all the way. So it's a bleed out type of situation. Okay. Let's take a look at what's popular today here in the altcoins as we head into 11 o'clock. Layer 0, SEI, SWI, Wormhole, Starknet, Humanity Protocol, Movement, Arbitrum, Hyperliquid back at 40. And I got a big position in Hyperliquid. We're going to take a look at it in a second. Thank you for that super chat. We got Graph, Solana, Optimism, Ondo Finance. NodeGo is one you might want to write down. Moonveil, which is more. Spark. We got new coins. Open Router, Concrete. A lot of new stuff coming out every day. SAHARA AI on the radar too as well. SAHARA AI. I don't know why SAHARA AI, right? But it is what it is. It's got a $183 million market cap too, and it's on PancakeSwap. Wow, we had this flag here, did not break out. Dumped actually to the downside. I didn't touch it. I'm not ready to get into memes. I'm ready to look at them. I'm not really ready to touch them just yet. Takes me a while to get back into that zone. The one meme that's been hot is SPX69, right? It's holding $1.28 after its dumpage. It's pretty strong. You look at it on the daily, it's in an uptrend technically, right? You can see that. And it came down and hit this support. I look for it to maybe come back down inside that flag, but eventually possibly break out too. Again, I'd watch it. It's highly speculative. Just because. Much love, Sam. Thank you to Plague Dogs for the $2 super chat. You didn't have to give, but you did. And, you know, the fact that you just felt like giving, thank you. And there you go with the bullish retest, the bearish retest, and this thing continues to the downside. Look like a very obvious short to me. Like one of the most obvious ones I've seen in a while. You can just see the way the 1 hour, the daily, all the big time frames had a huge pump. Time for a pullback, right? And then you can see the smaller time frames telling you where you're going to pull back. So shout out to anyone if you are up on the short, maybe even start to bring that stop loss just right to the 200 moving average there on the 15-minute time frame. And again, just shorting the 200 moving average, just like I long it. Almost the same scenario. You can slap on the head and shoulder there because that's going to be around the dump. That's how you're going to, you know, you dump when you lose the 200 moving average. You dump when you usually have a head and shoulder pattern. They go hand in hand. Understand? So we find the pattern for you. We find the measured move. We're able to kind of show you entries and exits, whether it's short or long. And we're pretty spot on here on the channel almost every single day. Again, someone said, but you said Bookmap had red above us. Yeah, but Bookmap's not 100%. Why are you teaching, making things 100%? Nothing is 100% in trading. Nothing. We look at the charts. The charts tell us what's going to happen. If there's a head and shoulder pattern, they got mad red up there. You know, what I do is when I have a inverted head and shoulder, they have red up there, right? I want to see this coincide with my trade. I want to see it all come together. I've never blindly followed anybody's indicator or anybody's stuff. I put together what my data set can do inside my subconscious mind, and that creates an outcome. I go with whatever that outcome, and that's years of collecting data from Bookmap to the charts to the moving averages. It's unique to my brain and where I've been in reality in space and time. Like, you can't get there unless you put in the work. Everyone wants my brain and my thought process here, but you can't get it unless you put in the work. You won't be able to see that this is obviously going to short like this unless you put in the work, right? And look, now they're liquidating the longs here, which we expected a long liquidation here on Bookmap, breaking 107,000. Once 106, you go lower. We're sitting there waiting at 109.5. Let the games begin. Usually it's a pretty fast drop to the downside if we can catch it. So life is what it is. The patterns break out. The probabilities exist. Let's jump on into Hyperliquid and take a look here and give my man his prediction too. See what's happening for Hyperliquid. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. Just want to make that very clear. And this is hype, not hyper. Hyperliquid on MEXC. It's everywhere. So this is going to pull back somewhat with Bitcoin, but I like the flag that we're in. We opened up a long here. Remember, huge pump to the upside. Then another long that kind of started to slump. Shoulder, head, shoulder that could be negated by that pump, and we're starting to consolidate. Bitcoin kind of makes a pullback. This could pull back the same way, but then continue to pump. So I like what I'm seeing, and it just suggested there's maybe 5 to 6 more days of sideways price action, and then we could pump to 63. That'd be a beautiful 50% gain. It's in a monster uptrend, you know, and so I like what I'm seeing here for Hyperliquid. Always have a stop loss somewhere below 31 or 34. For me personally, you got to do whatever makes you happy. I wouldn't tell you ever what to do with your money. And there you go, Bitcoin dropping, just like we suggested it would. It was pretty obvious to me. Below the 200 moving average right shoulder, there's your entry, stop loss, and I would even start moving my stop loss to break even. Now you can't lose the trade. Protect the purse at all times. Always have a plan. Always move forward with the plan. Always, the plan should involve proper risk management. Proper risk management is having a stop loss, moving the stop into position, and getting it done. All right? Most people that don't use the stop losses, you know what they're called? They're called liquidated brokies. All right? Shout out to all my people on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. You must have gratitude for your life. If you're beating yourself up for everything that's going on in your life, you're going to squander opportunity. If you raise your frequency to a high level and vibrate at a very high level, the universe will see you and the universe will pick you for opportunity. I love you so much. You're so cute and sweet. You know that? Oh, my little 4-year-old, huh? You're so big at 4 years old, huh? Okay, baby, so you can play with your puzzle? All right, you're doing really good. I left it for you. You're fast. You're smart on that puzzle. I know. I love you so much. My kids are my light, my love, my happiness. I'm here right now. I get to watch my daughter as she makes a puzzle because I worked hard for years. I get to live where my kids are all the time. I don't have to go to work 9 to 5 and not see my kids. You know, I saw how beautiful my family was. I saw my wife. I said, man, I got to be with my kids until the day I die. I want to spend as much, I never understood this world where you left your wife. She went to work, you went to work, your kids went to daycare, then you all come back together for an hour a day. What is that? They divided the family. If my daughters don't hear the man in the house, then they don't understand. They learn so much by being around their dad. The nuclear family is so important. They try to divide it. I saw this as a young man and I said, man, I got to find a way. The whole reason I started the stream, I'm being honest, was to keep the nuclear family in my nuclear family together. Was to make sure that we didn't fall off. To make sure we kept pushing. You know what I'm saying? Very, very important. So as they divided us and made us go different ways and said, you got to go this way, you got to go that way. I was always like, no, I got to find a way to start my own business from home so I can work with my wife. Me and my wife have to do it together. And I want my kids around as much as I can. I want to spend time with my children every single day, right, Nyla? And be with my kids as much as I can. God bless you, Nyla. Thank you for your beautiful, 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 beautiful light, love, and happiness you bring to my life. Dad. Right? Dad. Yeah, she says. She's got such a personality, man. Blessings on blessings and everybody out here. 10:58. We've covered a lot of information. We've even given you a live trade right here. I showed you my conviction and where price was going to go, and so far it's been going exactly in that direction. Nothing you can say. I was able to snipe that tiny head and shoulder. Most people wouldn't have seen it, but there it was, as clear as day to me. And if you do this for a living, you're going to be able to pick up on it as fast as I did there and make a move. 106,900. And there was money to be made. I could be trading. Why am I not trading? We made massive gains yesterday. I usually don't chase Monday moves. It's just not like me to go, but the probability was there. I could trade 7 days a week. I mean, there's no reason not. I guess, I could make gains every single day. If I read the market correctly, then why not? But sometimes you got to rest your brain. Even if you could read the market right every single day, it's good to rest the mind. You can't force trades every single day, but hey, some people do over there. Hey, shout out to all my beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate you all for being here. And so Hyperliquid, yeah, I see it going to 60, man, but it's got to play, Bitcoin. Bitcoin takes a huge dump. Anything could happen, right? So be careful. Another super chat came in. Would you please take a look at ATH? The all-time high for Ether. ATH. Yeah, it's funny. No, all-time high. So I didn't know what you were saying there. Could you please take a look at ATH? Ether. I have long position considering DCA. Thank you. Great channel. Shout out to Rhode Island 7453. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Bang. And the interest is just falling off here in cryptocurrency. People are just losing interest in crypto. This is the best time to be alive. This is the best time to pay attention when no one else is paying attention. This is where I stay. This is where I begin to build. Build the bear, build the bag, right? I love it. I love it. But it's crazy, right? Just think a month ago, or 2 months ago now, which I was in Vegas just 2 months ago. I don't even believe that was 2 months ago. How has it been 2 months? 2 months goes by like 2 weeks now in my life. It's insanity. So fast. Hey, Sammy, if you see this, can you check the classroom homework recap? I did. I made sure my wife will do that right now. She was busy on the weekend. She made sure to get it done this morning. Yeah, because she asked me for a key element that I know she needed that I made sure she got last night while she was asleep. But yeah, you guys should have it all now. Yeah, everyone that took the class on Saturday, you should have all the elements needed now for class. And remember, I teach the class the last Saturday of every single month. If you want to jump on into class, I would greatly appreciate it. We are right there. Class every single month. And it's the last Saturday. We just did class. It was amazing. It's really 3 hours. I go from 9 to 12, $150. Jump on into class today. You're going to learn so much. You're going to see so much, and the markets aren't going to be as confusing to you as they've been in the past. We're going to give you clarity. With clarity comes precision. With precision comes focus and progression. And that discipline, baby. We're going to teach you how to stay disciplined no matter what. No matter where the market's going, no matter what's happening. We're going to teach you how to stay disciplined. Yeah, so I like Hyperliquid. I like TAI. There's a few coins out there that look interesting to me, but everything's going to kind of play that way with Bitcoin. We got to watch what Bitcoin does. AI pad, layer AI. Can that bounce back to the 200 moving average like we usually get when we get a bunched up moving average area there? Layer AI, all these coins at the very bottom beans, man. It's crazy. You name it, they got plastered to the downside. And let's take a look here in the last hour. What is up or down? We have Jitto, we have Dex, we have Jupe, we have Dog with a hat. And these are all up. Look, 18% in 7 days, 26% in 7 days, 13% in 7 days. The last week alone, we've had some movement. Let's take a look at the bubbles and see what's happening. All right. And that reminds me, too, if you want to jump on into 2Bit, remember, we have an awesome thing going on right now with 2Bit. They're a new exchange, so they're hooking you up. And right now you could get, if you took the trade, did anyone take the trade? See, if anyone did exactly what I was talking about, right, which you could earn up a $7,000 bonus for 2Bit. But hit the link to 2Bit. I'm going to put it out right now so you can see it. But check it out, all right? Let's find out where that 2Bit link is there. There it is. See if we can get that loaded correctly. Funny, they stole my default browser. You know how they do that sometimes. But level up with the Crypto Lifer. Get 7,050 in USDT with 2Bit. All right? And if you deposit 1,000 and get 1,000, you can get 1,000 in USDT futures bonus. And I was saying, why not deposit 1,000? Use the bonus to make that trade for Bitcoin. And that trade for Bitcoin came out awesome. I mean, that's just an idea for me. Like an idea. Hey, I could use their bonus to make more money, you know, and then raise my volume. Pretty awesome. So that trade played out beautifully for Bitcoin. The bonus would have played out beautifully. Very interesting. So just something out there for 2Bit. Why not use these new exchanges to get in? Hey, you could move that back to your favorite. Do whatever you want. I'm just saying, game the system. Use the bonuses to get it in. Sign up to 2Bit today. Using my link, I'd greatly appreciate it. There it is. And become an exclusive Crypto Lifer under the 2Bit link and find out more. I do get a commission from the trades. I greatly appreciate that. It's a win-win for everybody. Because I've grown my channel to a bigger stage, I'm able to get you a better reward. Because you get a better reward, I'm able to get commissions. So it's a win-win for me and you, right? And I've worked really hard to be able to get you that benefit, right? And you guys have worked hard to get my channel where it's at too. So it's a win-win. Everybody wins here, and I greatly appreciate it. You have transformed how I view assets and think of wealth. I am learning every day with you. Would you please check MVIS for me? I've never heard of MVIS. What is that? MVIS. And maybe it's in the stocks, I guess. Microvision Inc. on the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at it on the weekly. Number one, it's at the bottom of its barrel. First of all, I like to look at the story. Like, what is the story here? And we remove the moving averages, and we just take a look at price action. So it comes out in 1996, all right? And so it rides the dot-com bubble of 2000 from 80, bottom of 45. Wow, what a dot-com bubble, right? All the way to 550. So it did a 10x. And since the dot-com bubble, this thing has been on a decline. It's been making lower lows and lower highs ever since. Look at it. It's just never come back from the dot-com bubble. Never. So I don't know. Either you're believing it's going to recreate itself and create some type of bull run, but this thing has been on a massive, massive downtrend, right? So now what? I mean, I don't know. The trend is so bad. It's so much lower than its lowest trend, and it's making another lower high here. It finally made a higher low for the first time in a long time, right? And you could possibly get this pump back to the upside here on the weekly. Now I put out the moving averages. Yeah, tight moving average. You can pump to the 200. I've seen it. 5-day, the daily. The daily's attempting to get above the 200. The 4 hours attempting to get above the 200. This is bearish. I would only touch it if it broke out and retested 137. I need to see it touch the 21-day moving average after it gets above. So break above the 200 moving average. Let the 21 follow. Let the 21 come back. And bang, right? I love that I've got this all ready to rock, right? Okay. If you have transformed how I view assets and think of wealth. Yeah. Can this be like, this type of stuff should be addressed immediately so I don't even have to think about it. Yeah, I mean, I'm always open-minded to find out the truth. I'm a truth seeker. So you say that, I'll find out if it's true or not, right? But it doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Maybe you have to make 5 trades. Read the fine print. There's usually something in there, you know. Wouldn't there be a good week? No. Yeah. Okay. Hit the like button. Only 400 likes for 1,013 people watching. And it's crazy, man. As the summer goes on, less and less people want to sit there in front of their computer. It's a beautiful day, right? People are out there swimming, out there hanging out with their family and friends. But there's money to be made out here. You know, you gotta... everyone wants to be on top of it, but there is time. You gotta focus. Even if you're spending a couple hours in the morning, a couple hours at night, focused energy will pay off over time. You know what I'm saying? Seriously focused energy will pay off over time. Let's take a look at that NASDAQ and see what's happening to the E-mini futures. $15-minute time frame. Yeah, somewhat sideways, more sideways, but getting the jump. Looks like we could possibly get that sideways price action. Bitcoin sitting at 109,062. And you could look for another possible bearish retest, or maybe even a bit of a bear flag here that could happen. Back to the 21 on the 15-minute. Your saving grace would be some type of inverted head and shoulder, right? That bounces it back to the upside. Which anything is possible. So we're looking for something of that nature to give us the pop. Back to 107,000. 107K, some key area too we seem to be holding. So remember, Monday's not my favorite day to trade. I'd be careful trading Mondays for sure. Man. Wow. So, and you know, let me take a look at that fear and greed too. 66. Not too shabby. I'd like to get it down here to the shady region, but you know, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you may find you get what you need, right? So what's interesting, we got newer coins out that we've had. We've had some things pop recently in the last few weeks. There's been some big moves. Yeah. Yep. Wow. 76% too on the CME. We get that. Oh, man. I can't wait till them cut that rate, for crying out loud. And what will Jerome Powell say tomorrow? Everybody's kind of waiting. Whole market's sitting like, you know what? When he speaks tomorrow, we'll see what happens. I heard someone saying he was trying to speak today. It didn't make sense, though. Like, I heard he's going to speak tomorrow. I just want to make sure, though. But, yeah, I see him Tuesday, 9:30 right here. Fed Chair Powell speaks. And that's going to rock the market, right? And then Jolt's job openings tomorrow, too. So prepare for that. Right now, it's forecasted at 7.32 million, but the previous is 7.39. Yeah. So we will see. We will see. CME Watch Tool, always there for you. Good place to kind of check on that CME Watch Tool. So let's kind of show you something. How do we make gains this weekend? And how do we plan it out? How did it all happen? I don't want to just shove gains in your face. I want to teach you how we did it so you can get excited about possibly joining the trading group, getting on in, and doing something different with your life. So the first thing I want to look at is show you kind of how I was looking at Bitcoin and why over the last few weeks. So let's go back to the daily and we'll talk about the dump. So Bitcoin had this nasty pullback down to here, right? How did we know it was time to reverse price? Like, how did we have the guts to start to think that we could get a bounce here? A lot of people were really bearish here. It was the beginning of a bearish divergence. There was no way there was going to be a bounce. There was a lot of shorts. Well, number one, I know when they create a massive dump, there's a lot of shorts up here. So I knew instinctively that it was easier for them to go up than down because there's probably more liquidity above us. Now, that's just speculative, trading ideas. But secondly, a fast move down that fast with an oversold stochastic usually renders a fast move back to the upside. Thirdly, I'm going to start looking for divergences on the smaller time frames that could possibly reverse price. We're talking the 5 minute, the 1 minute, and you can see like the RSI had a really big move up while price moved down. So let's kind of fast forward in time here. Wow, you did more. You did a lot. You're almost done. I'm proud of you. You want some water? You want some water? She's with the baby. Where's my mom? You're the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. You know I'm your dad. You know I'm your dad. There you go. Big bottle. Oh, you got water on your mouth. On your, almost near your eye. Is that in your nose? Oh, man. Are you okay? Huh? You're so sweet, baby. All right, so we look here at the 5 minute time frame, right? And we want to look for a reversal pattern. You're looking for a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. You're looking for a cup and handle back to the upside here. There's your cup, there's your handle. And you're trying to find you're looking for a reversal pattern on these smaller time frames. You keep watching it. Eventually, you can see we kind of made a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. You can see that we started to get a nicer divergence. We had a bullish divergence here on the indicator too as well. You need something? Want me to bring you upstairs? Okay. Hold on 1 second. I bring my baby girl upstairs. Come on, support me. Sorry about that, babysitting while I'm streaming. But so we see, and again, that's a Sammy cup and handy. This is why they call me Samuel cup and handle. Beautiful cup and handle here. And we get the beautiful blast to the upside off that 21-day moving average. Bang, 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 and start to get that pump to the upside here. And so that was the first kind of stage that we knew that we could get the reversal. Then I said, can we get above the 200 moving average with the 21? And I teach this over and over again. I'm so comfortable with this. When everyone else is bugging out, looking at the 5 or the 1 hour, we're intricately dissecting small time frames and finding out our probabilities. That is a bit of a double bottom, then we flagged out. And then the rest is kind of history as we continue to get that move back to the upside. And we were able to trade this flag too. You know me. Anytime I could flag anything out above the 200 moving average inside the plane, and then boom. And there you have it. And then you start seeing the smaller time frames. And then we started looking, can the 1 hour get back above the 200? You see? And once the 1 hour did, that was my signal there too. And I told everyone we should take this signal because that's a beautiful signal. It's to 21 above the 200. We do it on the 1 minute, the 5 minute. Why not take it on the 1 hour? That signal is still in play at 105, 240. You see what I'm saying? And then from there, I got to the 4 hour. I just took you through my entire process of how I figured out like how to long this 4 hour on Sunday, right? And then we got the pump to 108, and then BookMap said we would get to like 109. We got to 108.7. It's good enough for me. And boom, and all I needed was that green candle for my big move. I'm just I was stacked in here with some big trades. One was 1.6 Bitcoin trade, one of the biggest trades I've ever had, a 1.6 BTC trade. And we went from there. So I ended up nailing. And now we got the double top, and you can see what's happening. And now we got the head and shoulder pattern on the 15. So I don't do what I want to do. I just do what the charts tell me. Like this says you're going down to 105.9, and it's pretty obvious to me. But I guess it's not obvious to everybody else. Otherwise, everyone would be trading the same trade, and we'd all be on the same side of it. That's not always the case, right? And again, now to day to trade the NASDAQ too, a bit of a rollover on the smaller time frames. Unless you're shorting the market, I'd be easy here. So that's kind of the day, right? People are kind of got the wind blown out of their sails. They're waiting to see what's going to happen. What is Jerome Powell going to say tomorrow? A lot of tension here on that next meeting. Looks like he's going to be more dovish than bearish, right? Than hawkish. He's going to talk about maybe how, easing. And he's also been saying, crypto, easing the crypto industry. A big regulation went out again, pushing the banks to say, hey, you're okay with crypto. No worries, no stress. Stress test on crypto was great. And that's opening up the doors too as well. And I don't know when the Fed had that authority, but there's, at least they're giving the go ahead. And that's creating a catalyst for more. Definitely is XRP behind all this? You never know, right? Inside the zone of the behind the scenes of XRP and what could be happening there. So what altcoins are hot and what's not right now? Well, there's a couple brewing that people are kind of speculating on right now. And we've talked about it, but SEI. Why SEI? Well, Solana was hot. Solana was fast. Most transactions per second really started to make things happen. All right. And then we were like, well, what's the next hot one? Like, what could it be? It was Sui. And now everyone's wondering, well, what was in line? And Sui, and SEI was next in line. It was the next one that everyone was about to jump on into. And then the market took its beat down, right? And everything started to change. And from that moment, so we got South Korea, right? Central bank to prioritize won-backed stablecoins over CBDC. It's a good thing. No one wants a CBDC. We want it to happen all the way, right? Robinhood unveils stock tokens and teases new L2. All right. At Kane's event, Robinhood introduces a slate of crypto-forward products aimed at turning its platform into a global financial infrastructure. With stocks, tokens, a layer 2 blockchain, and enhanced trader tools, the company is expanding aggressively across Europe while deepening its crypto offerings. What's interesting now, remember, there used to be a blockchain to come up with a layer and we'd be like, whatever. And the point was now financial TradFi companies are deciding they need a layer 2. A layer 2 is becoming something that companies are gravitating towards. They used to be just whatever, a crypto only thing. Now you can see people realize they need a layer 2 of their own to interact with ecosystems and to be a part of the blockchain. So Robinhood built layer 2 based on Arbitrum, is in development to support RWA tokenization and seamless crypto trading. I'm telling you right now that GFI, that RWA sector is still yet to take off in a major way. I think people don't realize how big it can get. Maybe the money's going to be so big, they're really just taking their time to blow it up as big as they can. And this is worldwide. This isn't just here and there. This is all the time, everywhere. Like we're seeing this type of stuff constantly. Kazakhstan, right? Like we're just seeing news all around the world all the time about all different information when it pertains to cryptocurrency. I got this article here about Kazakhstan eyes a national crypto reserve to boost oversight and innovation. Kazakhstan's central bank is exploring the creation of a state-managed cryptocurrency reserve, signaling a border push to integrate digital assets into the country's financial infrastructure. This is happening. Soon, crypto will be the world, right? And nobody will really pay attention because they won't know it's crypto behind the scenes. It will just be how it was, just like the dollar. Like they won't notice it. Telegram launches institutional-grade ton staking at 4.7 APY. Users can now stake their ton via Telegram for 4.7% with a 10-ton minimum. I mean, that's crazy. Now the app will pay you 5%. Apps are now paying you to hold their token. I mean, this is huge. This is huge. It's a big deal. Yeah, Titan hype token eyes $50 as perps trading hits a new, I mean, that's pretty crazy too. Look at this. And this is information you want to know because I make trades based off information. Hype token eyes $50. New all-time high as perps trading hits 1.571 trillion volume. Is this the breakout? I mean, perps trading hits a crazy high volume. Captures 10% of Binance market share. Hyper liquid token is positioning. So this is a big deal. And this is something no one's really talking about, but the evolution of the DEX and the way that McAfee always wanted it to be. We all should be trading on a DEX. Our coin should be held inside of a linked wallet where we actually have control of the coins. We're actually able to trade on the DEX through a linked wallet. We should never have to send our funds. All right. You see what I'm saying? We should never have to send our funds to the exchange to trade. We should be trading on a decentralized exchange where no one can tell us what. This is the future of cryptocurrency. Hyperliquid is booming for a reason. It's holding the bear market while everyone else kind of took a dump. It's holding as nice as everything else. As you can see, I've already went over it. I can read the writing on the wall. What I like about technical analysis is if you watch the technical analysis, it's going to tell you what coin's the hottest, period, right? That's it, right? So this tells you what coin is the hottest. And shout out to everyone making gains today. We gave a proper, accurate call here on the channel. You know, the only way out is if you did an inverted head and shoulder. I don't see that happening. I see this. The stop is now at break even, everybody, just in case you didn't notice. And that's a free trade right there, right? That could go to the target. To the target. Head and shoulder pattern to the downside for Bitcoin, right? And this is how we saw it earlier. We called it before the dump even happened. We don't do it after the fact. We have it before it moves. And again, still kind of a dry Monday in the summer. You know, Maple Finance has been on the radar. Kind of one of the bigger movers recently too. And I don't think people talk enough about Maple. It's an EtherFi introduced ETH staking for institutional lending. Institutional borrowers can now unlock liquidity with EtherFi's WETH. So Maple Finance unveiled today it now accepts EtherFi's wrapped ETH, a token that represents restaked Ethereum as collateral for institutional lending. Maple is leading decentralized finance lending platform with nearly $2.7 billion in total value locked. According to DeFi Llama, EtherFi is a liquid restaking protocol with $6.4 billion in DVL that allows users to stake ETH while maintaining liquidity. The two leading DeFi protocols have partnered to let borrowers use wrapped ETH, WETH, to get USDC loans with a limited time 2% APY rebate in EtherFi for the first $50 million in loans, according to a press release. I have that on EtherFi right now, so I could be taking my EtherFi and I could be getting another loan on it. This partnership makes a big step in connecting ETH staking with institutional lending by accepting restaked tokens like WETH. Maple lets institutions borrow against their staked ETH without losing staking rewards. So I'm staking my ETH, I'm getting paid. I'm getting a liquid staking return on that. I'm getting a coin that represents ETH with an attachment. So if you do it at Renzo, you're getting like Renzo ETH. If you do it here, you're getting WETH, right? Now you can take the WETH and you can use that and stake that as collateral for a loan on DeFi on Maple Finance. It is speculative too as you get bigger. And Syrup, the native token, is trading. Syrup's been moving recently, and so I just kind of wanted to talk about how maple syrup, right? Now you're getting it. Now you're passing me the maple syrup. You know, let me get that maple syrup. So, Syrup's been ripping. This is why Syrup has been on the tear from 10 to 56 cents ever since Friday 11th in April, right? A 5x. So DeFi has been making moves behind the scenes. There have been movements. And see, when everyone else is kind of sitting there saying the altcoin season, whatever, there's altcoins that are creating use case and utility that are probably going to continue. If this spends 5 to 6 days consolidating, we likely have another move on our hands for Syrup. So if I wait 5 to 7, 8 days, maybe 10 at the most, who knows, and I watch, and it's really not about the timing, it's more about the structure that I'd like to see it in. When I see the structure, I'd like to execute, targeted 93 cents. So this has been planned out way beforehand. I already know what my stop loss would be and my proper risk management based off this exact, the parameters of the trade. I've traded this type of trade many times. Stop would be there, we go for there, 3 to 1, and we'd be on. I'll put an alert here. When the alert hits, it'll tell me more about when and what I'm looking at. And if so far we're falling into that quantum idea that I've created, if not, we move on to something different. We only have to take the trades to play out in our, throughout what we projected, right? So here too, U.S. tax bill expected to progress slowly. According to the orderly, U.S. Treasury Secretary Baseman has indicated that the tax bill is expected to advance smoothly. U.S. President is anticipated to sign the bill on July 4th, right? It moves forward on Trump tax cuts amid $3.3 trillion debt warning. Unveils revised $4.3 trillion tax and spending plan. That's coming our way, for sure. And the Bitcoin options traders, good to know kind of where they're speculating. They all believe in a big move. So Bitcoin traders are quietly adjusting their strategies, moving away from downside projecting, increasing positioning for potential gains. From 10x Research, the report shared with Benzinga on Monday highlights a significant rotation from put buying calls to selling, as recent market activity points to declining volatility and changing sentiment. The notion of Bitcoin's option has dropped sharply, following by 13 billion or 33% in just a few days. And this could signal a critical turning point for Bitcoin's price action in the broader derivatives market. While Bitcoin appears to be consolidating near 100K, traders are now showing reduced appetite for downside hedges and are instead focused on selling upside calls to generate yield in a calmer market environment. So, and the data suggests that there would be a bigger move upside. I'm just not guaranteed, but it's something to say, right? Here's another big thing that you may want to pay attention to. I think that's worth looking at. The Aptos Lab CEO joins the CFTC Digital Asset Advisory Group. Aptos. Let's take a look at the price of Aptos there too and see if it's more advantageously going to bounce. Some good news there on Aptos. And I'll duplicate this and take a look. APTOS. So big news coming in the behind-the-scenes institutional ideas for crypto. There's a lot going on that they don't really want you to see, but it's still moving pretty fast. And DeFi also showing signs of life. APT here, Aptos. It's like everything else. It's in that kind of cup and inverted head and shoulder. But wow, what a spike up there. It's almost like it's got a slanted downtrend, but it spikes every time off that lower level. We'd be looking for Aptos to head back to the top of the channel there, right? And only, very strong bullish divvy there on the weekly too as well. Look at that. Very strong bullish divergence on the weekly for Aptos. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. That would greatly appreciate it on this beautiful Monday morning, holiday week here for everybody in crypto and in general. Holiday week. And may everyone stay blessed and amazing no matter what you're doing. And be grateful for everything in your life. And I'm thankful for everybody out here on this beautiful Monday that decided to show up no matter what. We got 2,000 less people than we've had on a regular Monday in the last few months. But that's how it is in crypto land. People are just not there. If you're still here, you're one of the greats. You're one of the people that really pushes. You're one of the people that doesn't give up. You're one of the people that really, really pays attention. And everyone else is saying, oh, there's nothing going on here. That's when there's the most going on. Let's take a look at AERO. USD, I made most of my money paying attention when nobody else did. That's why I'm where I'm at, and most people aren't, because they decided to take a day off. No matter how hard, no matter how many times, no matter how difficult it is, we continue to push. So we looked at AERO out the flag, suggested that it was going to break out the flag and pump to the target. My target was 84 cents. AERO did exactly that in the last 8 to 9 hours. Beautiful pump for Aerodrome to the upside. Nailed it, actually. 4 hours later was pretty dang close to the target. And if you can see, Aerodrome technically just broke out. And look at this. Do you see the Adam and Eve double bottom? Let's break this down. On the bigger time frames, I see this cup and handle and a breakout to 110. But right there, that's an Adam and Eve double bottom. Do you see it for Aerodrome? Here's your bottom there. That's your Adam, right? And then we have the Eve. An Adam and Eve double bottom here. Looks like you could do damage and break out further to the upside too as well. All right. And getting a bounce at a bounce. Key level we're looking at here is $1. One bean. All right. One bean. AERO's gotten super bullish lately. I'm telling you right now, it's the connection to Coinbase. Coinbase stock is huge. How could that not end up being a bigger coin? The automated market maker for cake was huge. $60 to $44. This thing is at 82 cents. I could see it at $20. I don't think people realize where this could go. And because of a lot of my speculations and the things I've been going over, altcoins have been so quiet. No one's listening no more. They're like, Sam. But they don't realize that over time, these are the speculative plays that I've been doing over time that have played out. But I've stuck to them no matter what. When most people decided that it was a wrap, it wasn't going to happen, I stuck to it no matter what. No matter what. Let's take a look here. One thing I want to take a look at. Wow. And there's just a lot of news out here today too. Right? Excellent. And shout out to everyone here too. We got the frame rate kicking. We got everything kind of going our way here. We got the new mixer. Well, we got all our sound ready to rock, and we're here. I'm excited. It's going to be an awesome month. And, you know, Bitcoin. Basically 9 days from now, we could start one of the biggest pumps of Bitcoin ever. And everyone's going to be here. The live stream could be cracking. Everyone's going to wish they got in at these lower prices. And they're going to be sitting there like, you were scared. No, you were scared. And I'm like, man, there was a time to be alive out here and a time to take advantage. Let me take a look at spot BTC too as well. And it's good just to take advantage and grab some Bitcoin when we can. So I'm going to be buying more Bitcoin like I do almost every single day, right? No reason not to. And be greedy with the BTC. You know, be greedy. When others are fearful, be greedy for the Bitcoin. And so I'll buy myself a nice 3 racks worth of BTC. I'm always buying. These are great prices as far as I'm concerned, right? Oh yeah, I want 3,000 Bitcoins at 300. I tried to buy everything in the game, right? That's he tried to buy 3,000 Bitcoin. That'd be amazing if I could do that, right? And there I am buying Bitcoin. Right? I still got that 92.5 order there sitting. I cancel that. That throws money back into the till, doesn't it? Yeah, 110 at $5,000. So have more money than I thought. And always keep stacks of Tether waiting, 100 grand in Tether just sitting, waiting to gobble up more BTC. All right. Wow, actually looks somewhat bullish there on the 1 minute time frame now. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on that 1 minute. Looks like it may be getting some type of love here on the smaller time frames. And you can see how loose the volume is because the candle bodies are really strange. Oh, that's cracking. That's why. Yeah, that's why I use Binance number 1. I can see how much better that candle body's action is. Yeah. Wow, nice pump for the 1 minute. Bit of bullish divvy there. It is a bullish divergence. Sorry, let me put that back. Bit of bullish divergence. What is bullish divergence? Price swings down on the price, but up on the RSI. And boom, we get that move further to the upside. Nice bounce for Bitcoin. Almost a bit of a double bottom too. And then we got back above this resistance. Hey, 107,000. And now we look for this to kind of flag out with the 21-day moving average. May get ourselves a nice little move here to the upside for Bitcoin. And send us to 107,500. Bang. I like it. And to the 200 moving average there on the 1 minute time frame. We get above the 200, then I'd look for my signal. If we get my signal, I'll trade it later on today. I only trade my model if I get it, which is the 21 touching above the 200 on the 1 minute, or the 5 if possible too as well. So possible reversal here. Do we find our daily bottom? You never know, but I like this little flag. 1 minute looked like it could get busy back to the upside. Bit of a short squeeze here for the late shorts on a Monday low volume. This does suggest we are going higher to 109, 110,000. That's what BOOKMAP is telling us. It's been pretty dang accurate. Again, we have to get back above the 5-minute and the 1-minute 200 MA for any of this to happen. 200 moving average. If we can't get back above the 200 moving average or the 1 minute, it's not happening. So the first thing we look at is the 1 minute 200. We go from there. Amazing. I mean, this is awesome. Nice pump back up, cross that 200, get the movement, and here we go. It's one of my favorite tracks too, man. Crucial time for Bitcoin. Look at that pump out the flag to the upside. Bitcoin getting the rippage. And the bounce off 106,007. Oh man, what a nice move. You can see that the stuff that I go over, look, the 30-second is just cracking the 200 with the 21 below. The 30-second played out beautifully. And you can take the 30-second idea from the 1 minute. I can trade you can trade the weekly, the 1 minute, anything you want with these different time frames. But this setup, you basically take the setup on any time frame you want. That should break out to the target, 107.5, and we go from there. Beautiful move out the flag on that 30-second chart, which I'm not trading right now, but man, we had to zoom into the 30-second to get that information to keep it moving. Shout out to my lifers, baby. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Can I get the likes up to the watchers? I'd greatly appreciate it. We need every single one of you to hit that like button today on the lower. You know, we need that. We need every single one to help me out here and to help us get to 98,500 subscribers. It's like it halted, baby. It's getting tight. They're really going, they're seeing how hard, strong my will is. Like, it's just like the algorithm is going to test my will, see how hard I can push. I tell you what, man, it's a constant battle. It never ends. Please subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Need as many subscribers as we can get. Get that thing moving, baby, so we can save as many lives as we can. Blessings on everybody out here. Just something I want to show you too is how many people subscribe to the channel. Just kind of show you something that's interesting here. On the YouTube studios. Analytics. Let me go to that live count. 98,128 subscribers. And we had that big move up, 98.38. Pull back down. Now we continue to push. Help us continue. We've only pulled back twice ever for whatever reason. We had these two little weird pullbacks. Never had that happen. We continue. It could be the algo with scrapes. But you can see, man, ever since April 2nd, we've been grinding on our way to 100,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. Each and every one of you counts every time you hit that subscribe button. And look, I want to show you something. Look at my lifetime of doing this. If this doesn't get you going, I started in September of 2019, September 9th. And within a year, I had 114 people. Nobody's, it was tough. Within 2 years, maybe 5,000, 6,000, and then it continued to go. And then I worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and no days off, no days off. This is the culmination of no days off every single day, never taking a day off. And can we continue to keep this streak alive? With the ups and downs for Bitcoin, with all the craziness, with all the insanity. We've never stopped, no matter what, pushing every single day. And no matter how hard it got, no matter what happened, we continue to find our way. Look at this beautiful pump out the flag for Bitcoin. For me, that's the pump out the flag, and that's the signal above the 200 moving average 30. Now we're possibly crossing on the one. Oh, not there yet on the 1 minute time frame. And the 30-second really was needed there to kind of show you what's happening. Need that 30-second chart for that boost. Bitcoin, 107,289. Wow. Let's take a look at Ethereum. And Ethereum, I want to look at Sol Ether as well. And look, I mean, Aerodrome looks good to me. If anything's going to pump, Aerodrome on the radar, all right? So remember that. I like Hyperliquid. I like AERO. There's some things out here. Not everything is bad. There's some good opportunity out here for sure in the market. I want to take a look at Ethereum USDT and do a thorough analysis on Ethereum. We'll spend a nice 10 minutes on Ethereum. Break it down for all my ETH heads, everyone out here. One of the first coins I ever bought was Ethereum at $89. I knew about it when it was $9. Someone showed it to me in the streets of New York told me they were one of the first coders on it, and it was going to be big. Really, you should buy some, he said. Crazy, right? I eventually would buy it at $89 after it would 9x. I would kick myself like, man, I could have turned 10 grand into 100 grand. Back then, when I was always looking for that 5x, that 6x, just dreaming that one day I was going to be able to make millions of dollars and put myself in position. I had this thought, man, I'm such a different person from when I used to be. I used to dream that money was going to take care of everything. And just once I got money, everything would be fine. I'll be honest, money does help a lot. I'm not going to lie. Like, you can do what it takes care of the worry of the day-to-day. You don't have to stress the day-to-day. You know, when you have what you need each day. Like, you know, you don't have to stress just, you know, small bills. You don't got to stress just groceries. You don't got to, you know, the gas. If gas goes up or down by 10 or 20 bucks, it doesn't stress you. You know, you just keep grinding. I tell everyone, get rich so you don't have to be stressed out. You know, it's going to be hard getting there, but once you're there, you're there. It's very similar to building a house. Or, you know, they gave people land back in the day, and some people squandered it. Some people built beautiful houses on it. It depends. If you had the will and you wanted to push yourself, you could work every single day and have a mansion. But if you sat there and, you know, played games, you never know what you would have. So building wealth is very similar to building a shelter. Like, they gave you a bunch of stuff, say, hey, build a shelter. You can sit there and do nothing, or you can build a shelter. The people that don't have any money are the people that didn't build a shelter. Build a shelter out of your wealth. Your money that you have now should be able to take care of you for the rest of your life if you know how to use it. Yeah, again, the money you have now should be able to, you know, someone gave me some money, I invested it here. I did that. I put money in, I took money out. I put money in, I took money out. I put money into the market, I took money out of the market. I put money into the market, I took money out of the market. You know, very interesting concept. Bitcoin 32nd, looking beautiful. Can we cross the 1 minute 200? Rejection by that 1 minute 200 moving average. And this is the sauce. Let's get into Ethereum here. So the first thing I look at is Ethereum was in this beautiful uptrend. We're going to get rid of the moving averages actually for a second. So ETH had this uptrend. And you can clearly see how it kind of bumped and ran it. Bounce, 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 fell off, resistance. It's going to have to flip this trend line to be able to be bullish. Like, that's ETH's major resistance trend line there. Now, it found a bounce there with strong support. Okay, at about 21,172. So ETH looks like it has support here. But it's almost bearishly retesting. It's got to show me signs of getting back inside here. Right? Of that trend line. Now, that's one idea, but to me, that's pretty solid. Then you got it here. You could say it's in a broadening. Now, here, I'll say it's in a wedge that broke out. Shoulder head. See, it's almost got a head and shoulder there, right? Interesting. And it's got, you know, for me, it's got to bounce like this. So we're looking for this to create that inverted head and shoulder for Ethereum and produce its next big pump. And that takes ETH to 3,800. That is alt season. That says it's like 8 weeks away. Like, we're not having any movement until the end of August. That's just how the cookie crumbles here. And I look at it on the 4-hour time frame. And unless I'm somewhat creative here, ETH is very difficult to really put in a bit of a box here. I keep being like, hold on, let me figure it out again. Also want to say it's in a broadening falling wedge, and so that's it. That's what's going on here. So here we go. So it's a broadening falling wedge. I've got it now. Resistance, I see it. Ready? Check it out. Resistance, resistance, resistance. A bit of resistance. Bounces, goes sideways. It's almost like you need this to play out. So there it is now. I made some sense of this. It took me a minute. Bit of cat ears here too, though, that could break it to the downside. You got to get this bounce now for Ethereum. Could be a really, honestly, I love aggressive entries that are sketchy because that's where most people are shorting. And that's where you could take advantage of their liquidation. So this tells me there could be a nice move for Ethereum. So now look, I went from having no clue what was going on, slowly honing in here. Shoulder, 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 head, shoulder, 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 possible inverted head and shoulder back to the upside here. And then resistance at 26.76. Strong support at about 24.69. ETH, that could be its bounce period. Honestly, ETH could start to bounce from there and rip. Really, a bigger target takes it to 3,000, I would say even. I'd be willing to extend. Like, we could flush up to that area. We will have some resistance, though, at 28.69. ETH looks interesting to me. I'm going to keep this on the radar. That may be your low chance to buy right now. I know it seems sketchy, but that's usually, when everyone's sketchy and bugged out, that's usually the best time to buy. When everyone can't really handle it or doesn't think it's happening, that's usually a really good time to pay attention. But hey, what do I know? I've just been doing this a few years, right? Probably means nothing. Meh. What do I know over here? Probably nada. But yeah, thank you for everyone that considers subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate that. I hope that number rips all the way. Only one person subscribed to the channel when I brought that up. Dang. Tough times to be alive, man. It's like, wow. Whoa. It's like whip me with a whipping rag, you know. But man, Bitcoin doing damage out the flag, hitting the target at 107,719 and getting back in action, crossing that 1 minute 200 moving average. Look at the bull move here to the upside. We gave you the flag. We saw reversal patterns here for Bitcoin. Started to get busy and ripped. Yeah. We said Solana was about to take off too as well. Love Solana, and Solana did. Look at the short squeeze here on Bitcoin. Massive short squeeze. And look, I bought right when I bought spot Bitcoin, it flew, right? I bought it and it was gone. Isn't that crazy? Remember, I bought the Bitcoin and then it was gone. Michael Saylor buying more. Big movement coming in. Fed cutting rates. Everybody knowing risk on assets are about to explode. Let's go. And that's what we said. Can we get back above the 5 minute 200 MA now? We do that. Inverted head and shoulder back up. Then there's even more movement. Look at that 1 hour says it could bounce too as well. Let's take a look at this insane, ugly pattern here. Take our time on these last minutes with Bitcoin with each and every one of you. Everyone that's here, you're the more dedicated, amazing people. Like summer doesn't get in your way. The weather doesn't get in your way. No matter what, you're ready to rock. And I'm the king of broken patterns. So what we would do is we would act like none of this ever happened. We'd act like it never broke out. We'd act like it never broke down. All right, so you'd brush this away. You'd brush this away, and you'd brush this away. And you take the pattern as if you just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, breakout. So this tells me that it could continue further to the upside. There's no reason that it can't. So it would say, hey, you could long right now because, you know, you could wait for the candle to close, but we may not get that lucky. But it's just saying, hey, you could long right now, and this pattern is back in play exactly as it was before. And I know that's insane to me and you to say, but that's what I see happening. I mean, there's a higher likelihood that you won't get stopped out now. I like this trade on I'm going to look at this on weeks here on futures. Wow, some huge moves. So my signals played out today on a Monday. All you had to do was buy above the 200 moving average on the 1 minute. Gone, baby, gone. Let's take a look at the 1 hour back inside the pattern now too. So very interesting times. So that's my trend line. You're back inside. That's my trend line. You're definitely back inside the pattern. Bang. Make it big so I can really look at it. Wow. Crazy volatility today. A lot of opportunity in the market. And it's crazy how we made gains too yesterday. $107,650. Sam inverted HNS on US dominance. Hottest day so far here in London. Yeah, it was really hot here too as well the last couple days. Just made $500, 99 money acquired. God bless you, man. Who made gains with the lifer on what the lifer teaches here today? Even if I didn't make the trade, maybe you made gains. You know, so what I do now is I act like this trade was never outside of the pattern. So the pattern that's an ascending triangle that's likely going to break out still. Target takes it to 112,000. Smaller time frames say that the bears are not in control anymore. Stop loss is at 106,619. Even put it lower, but yeah, I could even take it to 106,623. $106,263. Sorry. I'm gonna just feel this out first. Yeah, 1,000 for 3,000, 400 for 14, something like that. Like to see this 15 make an inverted head and shoulder. I'm going to cool out for a while, but this is the trade I'm going to be looking at in the next 10 to 20 minutes. All right. And Ethereum looks like it's poised and ready to go on a bit of a run here. So I think if we did anything today, I spent some good time and figured out Ethereum. Ethereum looks like it could do some serious damage to the upside. I like what I'm seeing here for Ethereum. So I'd keep ETH on the radar. ETH back inside the pattern, right? I have watched YD lower and manipulate your numbers on several channels over the years. I have watched YD lower and manipulate viewer numbers on channels over the years. What is Whitey? Shout out to God is Love. God bless you, brother. I hope you don't base your reality on your subs. YouTube has been suppressing you for years. We clearly just saw it with the drop back below 98K. Not even a question. Thank you, man. God bless you, bro. Do rate cuts make markets dump or pump? I thought they usually dump short term. Yeah. I said Sol was going to pump before the pump. We went over it. We talked about how bullish Sol was. All right. Looked like Sol was going to actually make a bit of a move. If anything could pump Sol. Sol 157. I mean, people are starting to trade memes again. I told you DeFi was looking hot again. Let's go over your Sol idea here if you want to break down Solana. But we spent a good time on Solana. Saw that was a cup and handle. Said that this falling wedge can break back to the upside, right? About to make a move out of that higher low. I see Sol going to 240, right? I bought more Sol. I'm heavy in Sol. What else can I do? Not much more, right? Next resistance is going to be 262. Very close to that all-time high of 300, 299. I see it making a move on out of here for sure. 3-day chart looks great to me. 2 days a little overbought, but it's inverted. And that brings me to like the 4-hour time frame, which just broke above the 200 moving average, but pretty fast, kind of like a squeeze. You know, that's a bit of a short squeeze there. So now you look at your 15. Now you flag out the 15. If the 15 can flag out, catch that 21, it's going to continue. You see? Sol, baby, Sol. And wow, the market's kind of getting a bit of a rippage here now. People are waking up. They thought it was in action, 107,450 for Bitcoin. Well, I want to see it stay inside this pattern. Pretty sketchy time. A lot of back and forth. Thanks for being here every day, Sam. Anytime, man. God bless you. You think if you show up every single day, you compound the wins and the gains. And it's like when I see the stream drop, it gets in my head, but I can't let it get in my head. I got to just keep pushing. I got to know that every summer this is going to happen. The algorithm's just not going to feed that movement. Not going to sell those ads at the same time. Blessings, though. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Thank you for streaming and passion. God bless you and your family. Thank you. Yeah. I just know we had thousands of awesome loyal lifers. So I'm like, I know there's 1,000 loyal people. And I get in my head thinking, did I think different about me? Did I say something different? Did I do something? And I have to tell myself it has nothing to do with me. It's just the way it works, right? I can't will it. I can't will the algo. I feel like I can, though, and I will. Honestly, I can will the algo, and I'm just going to will it into the existence. Look at that cutie pie. She's bad? Oh. I thought you said shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you for jumping on in and sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. I'm going to jump on out of here. Bitcoin's 104,005. Holding that level that I like to see, though. Interesting. We get that bigger move to the upside today. 104.49 and 107.499. Bitcoin looks like a retracement is coming. A bigger pump. I'd watch that 15-minute and see how that 15-minute flags out. That's going to be your answer for Bitcoin. Everybody, thank you so much for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. What an amazing live stream. A lot of price action. The head and shoulder did fall. We got a volatile move back to the upside. You can see how false move Monday may not be the day to trade, right? You always want to kind of be cautious on false move Monday. Don't overtrade. Don't force trades. We plan it. We go after it. Tonight is my favorite night to trade. One of them, Monday night. We could have awesome opportunities tonight. We have a monthly candle close tonight. We have a lot to look forward to. Believe you're the opportunity, and you will be. Push yourself every single day. I know I'm the opportunity. I know that I can find it. I know I bring the energy. I know I bring it. And people are going to find the awesome sauce with me, baby. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Remember, the secret to success is getting started. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. Something you do today is going to be the catalyst for your success tomorrow. Don't stop. Keep pushing. All right? You can, you will. You are the best. Remove negative people from your life and stay positive. That's all you can do. That's all I did to get here, and I'm going to continue to push every single day to 100,000 subscribers and beyond. I love you all. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.